Commemorations of the death of George Floyd are going on around the United States, especially here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, where it all started 1 year ago on Tuesday. There was a march and rally in the streets of Minneapolis just last night. Today, they're calling for a day of action online for people to get involved on social media. And tomorrow, we're expecting a candlelight vigil. One of the big concerns of the marchers is passage of a bill before Congress that would change policing in the United States. The President of the United States has called for that bill to be sent to his desk for his signature by the anniversary. That's not likely to happen, but the Floyd family is expected to visit the White House on Tuesday. The big picture is many people have talked about how the death of Floyd created change in the United States, but the fact of the matter is, since his death, there have been numerous instances of police violence in the United States without a lot of satisfaction for the families of the victims. In Minneapolis, I'm Joe Johns.
Hey, you guys, it's another Tuesday night with The Pulse. We're super excited to have you guys with us tonight. Remember, you are a part of the conversation. So I want you to comment tonight. We're talking about, is it justice or is it just us? And we need to know what you're thinking. So don't leave anything out. Put it all in, comment everything that you're thinking. Because tonight we're going to be remembering George Floyd. And we're going to be thinking about all of the things that we've gone over in the past year. And we're also going to be talking about some legislation that's supposed to have been passed, but didn't get passed. So definitely get with us tonight. But you know I'm not having this conversation alone. So, of course, I want to show my peoples, Corbin, and, of course, Armani, where are you guys at? We're missing Dre, guys. But you guys are going to have to put hashtag we want Dre so we can get Dre back here next week. All right, you guys?
Yo,
All right.
what's going on?
All right. So we're waiting on some legislation to come pass, and we're trying to see some things move. It's been a year. We're remembering George Floyd. We're remembering the fact that these type of things are happening every single day. In fact, people are constantly dying even after his killer was convicted, murdered for murder. Yes, he was on all 3 counts, and we are ecstatic about that. But there's still so much we need to do. And I really want you guys to, let us know how you're feeling. Like, share, and comment. Share New Kingdom TV. But while y'all are doing that, Armani, what are your thoughts, on what we should be doing right now? What are we thinking?
Contacting our congressman to pass the George Floyd Policing Act, because I know a lot of people kind of like are pinning it on Biden to like control how it's going to be able to be passed, but it really isn't his. He has the power to obviously veto if Congress doesn't allow that to happen, but they still just have just as much power to pass the bill. So obviously contacting your congressman, staying engaged in your local matters as well, because Anne Arundel County is just implementing body-worn cameras for our police department. That's crazy, right? And I didn't know that. So yeah, I didn't know that until like last year. So, and we were actually able to like get it in the budget, the fiscal policy, like the budget for last year, right before, like during the protests and everything like that. We were able to slip it in just right in time. So they're trying to implement it for, I think, in 2022, but obviously it takes much time. So yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Right. I really, before we get to Corbin, because I know where Corbin is gonna go. Do you feel like we've done anything? Forget the past year, but do you feel like we've done anything since 1968? Because I got something to say about 1968, but I want to see if Corbin or Armani feel like we've done anything since 1968.
So when you say, and I just saw a comment that I might come in here hot. I'm not fooling with y'all. Listen, I think we have to define the that term, have we done anything? I think we have to really define that, and as we're defining that, I think we have to approach that as carefully and as intricately as possible, because the last time I checked, it's still not a federal crime to lynch someone in the United States. More so, while we just seen that there is now an anti-Asian hate bill that has been passed, my immediate thought, and again, I'm not saying this to say that, against anybody or I believe that it's egregious for anyone to be attacked. I think that we have to be mindful that we got to go back to the basics, keep your hands to yourself, and people also gotta, what I'm saying, start understanding and still realizing that this is not against flesh and blood. Right. But on the other hand, I have myself sitting here wondering, when are we going to see an anti-African American hate bill? And that's the reality. I need. That's what I'm looking for. So that's why I said we have to approach it carefully. When you say, have we done anything?
Right.
So I know what you mean when you're saying we have to approach it as we.
And I'm being careful. I'm being so careful right now, y'all.
Because I don't feel like, and I know somebody's gonna be mad at me.
I don't want to get canceled.
I know somebody's gonna be mad at me, but I feel like from 1968. Let's take a look at it. Lyndon B. Johnson. He put out this commission called the Kerner Commission, 1968. Literally went out and looked and wanted to find out why is there civil discourse? Why is there civil disorder? Why is all this civil social problems? He wanted three things. What is going on? Why is it going on? And what can we do to stop it? Now, once they finished that commission, they found all this information, all these ideas on how we can change the separation, how we can change the economic, what's the word I'm looking for? The economic downfall of placing people in a certain place and putting them in a certain place and creating basically a separation between people. They found all this information. Do you know what they did with the information? Absolutely nothing. They didn't do any of the suggestions. They didn't put forth any type of legislation. They didn't do anything with the information. Information basically disappeared.
Can I ask you a question?
And it was proven that systematic racism, systematic separation was proven in that commission, and it was embedded into the culture of our people, the culture of America, and they chose absolutely to do nothing.
Can I tell you why?
Of course.
Because they already knew what they were getting into from the beginning. Right. How can you and consider this? This is a country that these type of commissions that are formed, they're paid for by taxpayers' dollars, right? So we all contribute to it. Essentially, why would you realistically put something into or invest a lot of money into solving and coming up with data when you knew from day one what the issue is? Essentially what it is, they're pulling our leg. They're continuing to pull our leg. Listen, y'all.
And that's exactly how I feel about the Asian hate crime bill. It's just another way to separate.
You're pulling our leg.
And they're separating us and creating. I know this is gonna hurt somebody, but
pulling our leg, man.
Certain people who have no color, that feel like the having no color makes them superior. I'm gonna just say it that way. The people who have no color and think that they're superior don't care about nobody with any color. Like white, black, Cuban, Asian, I don't care. They don't care nothing about none of us. And for us to continually be angry with the rest of the other ones, it just gives them the time to put forth they want to do what they want to do. Right. So we can't keep our eyes on the prize because we too busy. Oh, the Asians got Asian hate crime. So that don't mean I'm not going to try to get a black or African American hate crime bill. That doesn't mean I'm going to stop because we didn't stop ever. So we're going to continue. Yeah. But I feel like people tend to run their mouth more than they put in forth action. And that's why I said we. And I know
Jump in there,
that hurt.
Armani.
No, I was gonna bounce off of what she was saying. Well, what you guys were saying earlier about how you got to be careful. The problem is that Black people are looked at and deemed as barbaric, and because from the very beginning we were seen as barbaric and crazy people. You know, we were told that we had to denounce our culture. We were that's exactly, they were trying to what is the word? Try to basically dilute our culture.
Dehumanize us, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So now when we try to speak up about stuff, we're seen as crazy. Like, you know how like on Fox News or any type of like conservative rightward news platform, they like to show the riots instead of the protests, the peaceful protests. And then that shows to people that, oh, the Black Lives Matter protesters are rioters.
That's a lie.
And that's a lie. And guess what? Also, you have police officers, they have infiltrators in the protesters, with the protesters, throwing stuff through windows. And then they're going to blame it on the Black people who are protesting peacefully. And then it goes back on us. So you have infiltrators, you have liars, you have a lot of people who are trying to pull people from actually seeing the truth.
Absolutely.
And it's swipe under the rug.
Can I jump in there?
So
this began long ago. Go ahead. This began long ago, though.
Right.
That mindset, and my wife has coined it. She says that they've become professional gaslighters, right?
Yep.
Consider this. That's why I said, sis, this is long before 1968. The beloved Abraham Lincoln, as the nation has, honest Abe. Let's be honest about it. Back after as the Civil War was about to pop off, he had the nerve to call Frederick Douglass to the White House and sits down with Frederick Douglass and says, you know what? I've come to rationalize, right? I put a whole commission together and we've done some research and we surveyed and we've come to the conclusion that the reason why this war is about to spark off is because of your presence here in this country. And we are suggesting maybe you go to Costa Rica, when the freaking reality is, had you have not, as Armani said, gone and meddled and come up in our culture and tried to dehumanize us and completely rape us of everything that we had to offer to the entire world, we would never be in this situation. And that's my issue here with the United States of America. And we can't just say it's one group of people because it's a spirit. A spirit's attached to people, not by color, right?
Right.
We got to get to the mindset to realize, y'all,
the enemy.
This crap is never going to end until you acknowledge what it is that you have done.
Yep.
And every time they pass bills that step over what they have done, where does that leave us?
But we have to remember. We have to remember the reason they can't admit that we're not barbaric is because they would have to admit that they were wrong.
Yeah,
so they got to admit they're barbaric.
They don't want to speak the truth.
They can't do it. If you looking at these comments is fire tonight.
Yeah, they're going off.
Professional gaslighting.
Tired of this, y'all.
These comments are fire. I see them. Don't think we don't see these comments. We are reading them.
There's one that said the Million Man March didn't have one person storm the Capitol. Yes, that's so much.
Right.
And how many people have they arrested?
But I don't even pay attention to any news telling me that somebody from Black Lives Matter did anything. You know why? Because you can buy Black Lives Matter at CVS. You can buy Black Lives Matter shirt anywhere.
Exactly.
The fact that they are capitalizing on Black Lives Matter is the reason why you're not going to pin nothing on them as far as I'm concerned. Because if I can go in there and buy a shirt from any old place, that's the difference. So the Black Panthers was dressed with each other. Ain't nobody was walking around dressed like a Black Panther. Not today. You can be anybody and put on a Black Lives Matter shirt.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? Can I tell you? I'll be doggone if they all weren't in uniform when they stormed the Capitol. Were they not? Were they not decked out in Trump 2020? Were they not decked out in their Proud Boy and QAnon? Oh my God, come on.
And even after that, we still have to justify any protest. I'm not justifying anything to you.
They called them extremists.
Yo, nationalism is code word for supremacy.
What is it, extremist?
It's nothing such thing. There's no such thing as nationalism. We were talking about this earlier. Oh, nationalist. Oh, that's patriotism. Be S. And I said it just like
Nationalist.
B and S. And I'm going to use BS because those are my initials. So I don't care. B and S. You not about to tell me that's not patriotism. For you to purposely try to hurt other people, no matter what color, no matter what age, you're not going to tell me you doing that out of patriotism.
Yep.
But this is why we are in the situation we are. We are going to constantly have problems as long as people like that are excused.
Yep.
Period. But when we let's turn a little bit
because you just said something. You struck a chord because now you got to talk about what people. Don't let them off the hook.
Any people who feel that they are superior to any other person. I don't care what you are. I don't care. Because I've met black people who walk around like that too. Don't think I don't. Yep. But I do know black people who are, I'm better than them because I'm superior. My bloodline is better than them.
Yep.
Boo-boo.
Yep.
Listen.
Yep.
I hear you.
Yep.
But as long as we work in the spirit of hate, as long as we work in the spirit of indifference, as long as we work in the spirit of hatred and loathingness of any type, because I met dark-skinned people who don't like light-skinned people. That's a problem. I met light-skinned people who don't like dark-skinned people. That's a problem. I met people who don't like her because her eyes are green. I don't like her because her eyes are dark brown. I don't like her because she got a big butt. It don't matter what you walking around here talking about what you don't like. That is where we are all messed up.
Yep. But you know where it boils down to? White supremacy. It starts with white supremacy.
And where did these ideas come from?
Where?
God, this is crazy.
Do you want to know something crazy?
I'm about to admit against white people. We promise you guys.
It's not. I got white all up in my family. Speaking of which, I was so, you want to know how bad stereotypes are? And I hope my Aunt Mindy is on here. Aunt Mindy, I love you, boo. But when she married her husband, who is full-blood Irish, from Ireland, had the accent still, everything I knew about Irish was just dumb. They like potatoes and they drink beer. Like that's the kind of like insanity that we really focus on. Not, is this a good person? Is this person going to be good to I knew stupid things about Irish people. You know, and that's what we do. We learn stupid things about different type of people, and that's what we stick to.
Right.
You know, and it's dumb. I've met people, and this is great that my job allows me to go into homes. I have no idea where I'm going. I walk into a house and I'll be like, "Oh Lord, I'm in a Trump house. I'm going to get killed today." And that'd be the nicest person ever. And I'll be like, they don't want me to sell them nothing. They're not going to talk to me. Talk to me, no problem. If I was any other type of person, if I seen a truck flag, I'm not selling them no life insurance. I'm not doing that. But that's not who I am. That's not what God has for me. I'm a loving person like Christ who gonna go in and I'm gonna try just like I should. And if it don't work out, then fine. But I'm gonna try. But that's not how we operate. And
I mean, don't get it twisted. You're not gonna see me at no Trump rally.
I'm not gonna go to the Trump rally. I ain't going to the Trump rally.
But you're not gonna see me at no Trump rally. You wouldn't have seen me down at the Save America rally. I mean, let's just call it what it is. I'm
not going to get lynched on purpose. Like
I said this before. All Trump supporters are not racist, but all racists are Trump supporters. It's that simple.
But even then, my only point is that we have to operate in the spirit of Christ, and that's what we're not doing. And people, and I know it's easy to put everything on Biden. It's easy to put everything on Trump. It was easy to put everything on Obama. It was easy to put everything on Bill Clinton. It was easy to put everything on what's your boy? Goofy. You know what I'm talking about. Bush. Yeah, it was easy to put everything on him, yeah. But at the end of the day, there are 400 people. Let's talk about this. 400 people who have been constantly causing problems. Those 400 people have caused problems beyond belief. The Democrats are literally saying that we're going to do everything without the Republicans. We don't need them. And the Republicans are saying all we're going to say is no. How is that beneficial to the United States in any way, shape, or form?
Just Mm.
400 idiots. And I hope they all call me up. I'm
And
saying that by myself. This is not the poll.
and you talking about the House, the House of Representatives?
This is Samir. This is Samir, not the polls. 400 people who don't care about nobody over here. Because for you to tell, as a Democrat, for you to say you're not going to do things as a Republican, you're saying you're not going to do things for Republican citizens, for Republican mothers, for Republican fathers, for Republican children.
The problem is, and my issue is that why are you going into office and you're not serving the people that put you in office? That's the whole point. That is the
They're going to be
whole point.
because I'm
We're
dead
not serving
serious.
you. You're supposed to be serving us. That's literally
we
how
pay
it
you.
works.
So what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on how Congress is handling things? Because we're going to talk about Biden.
This.
It's easy.
Well,
I'm talking to the people.
I think Armani hit it off right, perfectly. You work for us,
Right.
and you mean to tell me that regardless of what side I lie on, right, or what I believe, there are people that go to Capitol Hill every single day, and they're just hell bent on, I don't care what day it is or what month it is, I don't care who voted for me or who didn't vote for me. I'm only going to make legislation for this group of people.
Yep.
As opposed to let's come together for what's in the best interest of the country. But can I tell you? Can I tell you? It really helped me put things in perspective, and that let me know. And I'm glad you brought it up, Samir. I said this before. All of them need to go home. Every single one of them need to go home, whether they are Democrat or Republican. If you've been there for longer than 20 years, it's time to take your butt home. Because especially if you're Republican, because I'm going to be God honest with you right now. Every Republican, I don't know how you sleep at night when you acquitted the man that incited and sent the doggone people down to the Capitol during a certification, and I want you to see my face, during the certification of an election. That's a terrorist attack, and you acquitted the man who sent them down there. I don't understand, and that right there tells me that you are no longer fit to make laws. Dog it. I work in an elementary school, and right now, they're learning about the three branches of government. Right. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because when you break it down, all three branches of government, the president, carries out the laws. Your judicial branch, they interpret the laws, but Congress makes the laws. And you're telling me we're trusting people to make the laws that acquitted a man who basically tried to attempt a coup.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Somebody said Congress is not a part of the solution. Then,
my gosh.
Somebody said that.
I'm done.
The people who are in Congress are not a part of the solution. I feel like for my generation, the ones who are trying to educate ourselves so that we can be in Congress, I know they're not going to like me. I know I'm not going to be liked. I'm going to start some stuff. I'm going to be like Maxine Waters. I'm going to be just like her, because the problem is that everybody wants to be quiet and cordial and press together. They think we're supposed to just sit there and be quiet. No, because just like that white man can cut. Remember that time when Obama was doing a speech and the white man was like, "You lie." Well, you know what?
You're talking about the Speaker of the House.
Oh yeah.
He was the Speaker of the.
Remember that?
Right?
Remember that he cut Obama off. Okay,
exactly. So disgusting.
Yeah, ignorant, right?
And it's just
to me, people who would do the same thing, who are angry about things that are happening to our people. Guess what? I'm gonna do the same thing.
And girl, I'm right behind you. Vote for Armani. Vote for Armani.
Hey, you got my vote.
Hashtag vote Armani. Hashtag vote Armani for all.
You heard it here first.
Look, start some stuff up in there.
We
can't be nice. We cannot be nice. I'm sorry. Like the days of the Geechee is over.
and that's really how I feel. I've heard so many people say we got to do this, we got to do that. I feel like we just need to start being firm.
Yeah.
Can I be honest? I don't want to offend nobody, but I'm gonna be honest. I don't think our grandparents should be running the country. Can I be honest? I'm sorry. I don't think our grandparents should be running the country anymore.
But they don't think we should be either. be honest.
They have such a way of feeling that the youth, the problem is I'm having, my generation is so criticized. I'm sorry. It's getting, now, yeah, you brought it up. I'm going to talk about it now. Y'all love to criticize our generation. I know we got, the millennials and the Gen Z, we got our problems, but we got some really good solutions and nobody wants to listen to us. Nobody wants to listen to us because you never done it before. You never heard of it before. And you were mad because you never thought about it. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are mad because we're actually trying to move into another future, something that has not been done before, and you're upset about it. Calm down.
Well,
I don't understand.
It's just ridiculous. But on that note, I want you guys to really, really think about what you guys think we should do. Hashtag vote Armani. Hashtag vote out Congress. Well, we gotta go to break real quick, and we'll be right back. Like, share, and tell everybody about the post because we are hot tonight, and y'all got to hear this. So come back. Peace.
Hey, this is Pastor Dante again, and listen, you need to make sure you are subscribing to New Kingdom TV because our new season is here beginning Monday, May 17th, but Tuesday night is the night you want to make sure you're watching. Tuesday night beginning this Tuesday, May 18th, we got our new show, Neil Nation. Tuesday Talk Together starts right here on New Kingdom TV at 8 p.m. on Tuesdays with Pastor Marcus and co-pastor Lisa. Man, we got this show is going to be off the hook. You're going to be talking about it all week long. Make sure you watch it. It begins this Tuesday, May 18th here on New Kingdom TV. Hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like and share us on Facebook where you can watch New Kingdom TV, where we say you can watch your dreams come to life.
Oh, I am impressed about this conversation. I don't know about Armani, but y'all are hot tonight.
Can I respond to this comment? I seen a comment coming.
We need some new blood in office, but you younger people must understand and respect the elders as well. I understand, yes.
And we understand. We're not disrespecting our elders. We haven't disrespected them. But what are we to do? Because we can get biblical. Scripture says we ought to approach our elders a certain way. We can't just chew our elders out like we would chew each other, right? But what are we to do?
Those ain't my elders.
What are we to do? Exactly. But what are we to do when our elders have just simply gotten comfortable and accustomed to showing up every day, arguing, being set in their ways, and letting criminals go free? They've essentially right now shown to us they are unfit to govern in the country. You let up. Why is Donald Trump? Why does he qualify? And I'm sorry, Tony. I'm not yelling at you, but we got to understand what our elders have done. Why does Donald Trump qualify to still be paid a freaking pension as a president? Why does Donald Trump? Well, why should he have his mural hung up in whatever wherever they go? And why is he now going to have libraries built? Why is he now entitled to a briefing from the you know what I'm saying, his security briefing? And why is he going to continue to have Secret Service when he calls an insurrection? Why? Because our elders decided to acquit him of all charges.
Y'all got Corbin hot over here.
Yeah, man.
Y'all better be liking and sharing.
Exactly. Your dad said, don't get your elders confused with drunk people who are drunk with power. Exactly. Thank you, Pastor Jay.
But real talk though, real talk. I have a lot of respect for my elders. Mm-hmm. But I also realized when I became an adult, where my responsibility lies. Yeah. So where they might be older than me, but I am still an adult, and I still have a responsibility to my children and the children that I am involved in, and the children's children of those children. So since I have a responsibility as an adult, my responsibility is to point out where stuff is wrong, like Corbin is saying. They're not doing anything to benefit us. They're not doing anything that really benefit anybody. But nobody is really looking at it like that.
Yeah,
he doesn't, but he's white.
He doesn't, but he's white, and it's not our elders. It's the racist system that has allowed it.
Well, then you have to preface your comments, then, sis. You got to put it in context.
Think about this. our elders are the ones who are voting some of these incumbents in office. So
Jesus
you look at
Christ.
our local
Oh,
government and how
Incumbent.
some of these
oh,
incumbent. I'm using my political
I love
you go,
it.
science
girl.
language
You go,
because
girl.
look, I'm about to graduate next year, so I got to start using it. But incumbents, the ones who've been in office for such a long time, we continue to vote for them, thinking that they are for us, but in actuality, only for themselves. So the elders who are like, vote, 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 that's my problem. Like I just did an event like 2 weeks ago. We were talking about voting rights and everything like that. And I said it straight up. I was like, we talk about voting, but nobody wants to talk about all the other things that comes along with it. We need to talk to our congressman, because you can cast your ballot and expect the political person, the one of the politicians, to do what they say they were going to do. And if you're not on their butts, holding them accountable, they're going to do whatever they want in office, and then you're going to vote for them the next year. That's the problem. That is my problem, because
So
they're not teaching us how to actually hold our elected officials accountable. We're not the ones who, they're not teaching us really anything about voting, in my opinion. Because I mean, I'm learning how to vote. I've been learning how to vote for the last 2 years, but the thing is that there's not enough information on how to actually stay in connection with what's going on in our government, because that's where our power holds.
But see, my thing about the voting, and I'm so supportive of voting. I vote myself. I get as many people to go vote as possible. My issue with voting is that the system itself needs to be changed.
Yep.
So voting is just participating in the current system.
Yeah.
The system itself needs to be changed. It is a mess. And it's not working.
You're 100% correct. But while we're waiting on the change, as Armani always says in all her posts on social media, which I appreciate you for calling out the culture, it's so much more than just showing up to the polls. There are so many town hall meetings and community budget meetings, and people are not coming to this stuff. I mean, you got people, and granted, I love animals, but come on now. There are some communities that you do not need any additional upgrades to your animal shelters over these Boys and Girls Clubs. Let's talk about it. But the reason the Boys and Girls Clubs can't get the updates and upgrades we need because we're not attending the meetings.
They be packed out with the animal shelter activists. Oh my gosh, the animal activists, they be packed out. But when it comes to our people, where are we at? Where are we at? Where are we at? Wow, I tell you, it just doesn't make any sense.
So while we get back to what we're trying to get to, do you guys feel like there's any justice that's been had over the last year? Do you feel like anything has changed? Has George Floyd died in vain? Because I'm happy that that there was a conviction. I don't like to say it like that, because it's sad to be happy that someone was convicted of a crime. It's not that I'm ecstatic that he's going to jail. I'm happy that in that situation justice was served for him. But I am not happy with how silent we are about how many people have died since he died.
How about the same day the verdict came out? I
don't even feel like we've talked about any of the people that have died. At one point in time, it was 150 something. I don't even know how many it is now.
Justice will happen once we start realizing that we have to change. We have to get rid of systematic racism. We have to get rid of the institution. We have to reimagine what we want our policing system to look like, because I hate the word reform. I'm an abolitionist person. I know people think it's radical. They're like, oh my gosh, it's radical, it's militant. But I posted a video in reference to how when you scrape your knee, right? You scrape your knee, you need to when you scrape your knee and you get like blood and everything like that, and you get an infection, you have to clean out the wound, right? And you have to put a Band-Aid over it. Our country has left an old Band-Aid over an infected wound and decided to not replace it for years. And then reform is calling it just putting another Band-Aid over it, and not actually trying to clean out the wound itself. That's how I look at it. Abolition is, you need to reimagine. We need to have community policing. We need to have better ways of, we need to have specialists taking care of certain situations. Why would you, in reference to the little girls, what was her, Ma'Khia Bryant situation, and I'm not going to go too much into it. I know she had a knife and everything, but I'm just thinking about the young kids. There were police sent to handle a kid situation. There could have been some type of way that there was a specialist sent there to talk to the child, to have a mental health specialist go talk to the child. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like there needs to be some type of way of just change. We don't need to have guns in everybody's faces for a small situation. They shouldn't. You shouldn't have to have a gun in your hand when it comes to certain situations. It just shouldn't have to be. It shouldn't. I'm just saying.
When it comes to police brutality, the policing, it just irks my nerves altogether. I've lived in different parts of Glen Burnie. That's a good example. If you live closer to a Hospital Drive, you gonna see a whole bunch of police officers.
Mm-hmm.
But if you live over, let's say like Crane on the Millersville end, you're not going to see a whole bunch of police officers, which is not even that far from each other. It's really not that far from each other. And then if you go out Brooklyn, you're going to see a whole rack of police officers.
Exactly. It depends on the neighborhood.
So it's just like you kind of set us up for situations in which we are put where someone has to die.
Over-policing is a thing.
Over-policing. I remember one time, I can't remember what was going on, but the mayor of Baltimore spent like $2 million on police cars. $2 million. But that was the same year that they shut down like a whole rack of schools.
Mm-hmm.
To me, education especially should always come before that.
Right, exactly.
Baltimore City used to have a whole bunch of programs that kids were able to participate in during the day. They didn't have nothing at night, but at least during the day they did have something. Those all shut down.
Right.
It's just like the allocation of funds always goes to what happens after the fact, but not prevention.
Come on.
So like we could prevent criminals if we wanted to, but we don't.
Yes. They need to fix the
create criminals. What do you you're not gonna blame little black boys and little black girls for having absolutely nothing to do, and half of them ain't got no mammy and daddy at home because they gotta work their butt off anyhow. It's not always that mom and daddy ain't there. Mom and daddy gotta get money too. And you got them living somewhere where they ain't got no choice but to hustle. So their kid is loose as a goose. And now you mad because the kid loose as a goose. And now you shooting the kid because the kid doing something they're not supposed to do. When they had things to do when they were in place. But we took them away. And now we're not even trying to replace them.
Learn the art of budget
reconciliation.
Manipulation, yeah. I was reading it wrong.
Right. So, and that's what's crazy because even in the nice neighborhoods, education ain't important. I was just talking to someone yesterday. They live in Hanover, and Hanover is supposed to be a nice area, but all of the schools are trash. They said all the schools are trash, elementary, middle, high school. So we're not going to educate nobody? Is that what we're doing? We just
they rather use police. They rather use cops and police instead of counselors. They don't want to. That was a bill that I believe did pass in our Maryland legislation. It's called Counselors Not Cops. I forgot the name of the bill, the number of the bill. But that's something that we need to address about the school to prison pipeline, because you see how, like you said, about how the schools are not being funded properly. So you're going to fund police officers to come into these schools and treat these kids like criminals instead of human beings. These kids are our future. And if you continue to make them think that they are criminals and prisoners, they're going to believe that. So fund the schools, give them the resources so that these kids can believe that they can make it out of their neighborhoods. That's how it's supposed to go. Because these white kids with these really nice schools like Severna Park looking like a college and it's only a high school, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Right. So on that end, I want to let Rashawn get his last word. He's been quiet because he got heated. He probably tired. He probably talking that heated him up. Rashawn, what's something that you want to leave with our audience to think about and on our way out?
Well, First of all, let me just again preference always. I love all people. I'm for all people. Um, and I truly believe that if we really want to see true change, it starts with the truth. Jesus says, and you shall know the truth, and then it makes you free.
Yeah.
We're not free because we're not acknowledging the truth. And I think that it's too much out here now for
Yeah.
people to continue to willingly say, oh, we didn't know, or we're unaware, or I can't relate, or oh my God, I didn't know this was happening. Like, it makes me angry every time I hear people say, oh, they didn't know that this was happening back in the civil rights movement until it was televised. Man, give me a break.
They
Just give me a break.
knew.
Give
Say
me a
what?
break. That right there, that right there, that's another ploy. And I'm sorry, I'm going to speak prophetically. That's another ploy that the enemy uses to buy times. He gives you that whole device and lie. Oh, let me do some more research. Let me put a commission together. Let's really investigate what's going on. You know what's going on. You know what's going on. And I'm telling you, man, there's a people that's going to rise up that are not going to want to talk about it. They're just going to be about it. We're trying to tell you, please negotiate. Give us equity now, because when they come, I'm not saying it's us. When they come,
it's not gonna be nice.
And on that note, and we want to keep this conversation going, y'all, because I have so much more to say, and I know y'all got so much more to say, but we're on our way out. But we definitely are ready to talk to you guys. Keep commenting. We're going to respond to all your comments. We want to know what you guys are thinking. Is this justice? Has there been any justice, or is it just me and you? Is it just us, y'all? Is it just us? Like, comment, and share on the post. Make sure that your friends, your family, your mammy, your pa, all that know that we here on Tuesday at 7 o'clock. And we want to know what y'all want us to talk about next week. So tell us. Let us know what you want us to talk about next week. Comment and let us know. We love y'all. It's another Tuesday night, and y'all have a great week. It's the Pulse.
peace.